Hello, and welcome to Filmsquatch, the podcast where two guys from the Deep South watch and review movies about Bigfoot. It's that simple. Each episode takes a look at a single film about a Sasquatch or a Yeti, and the guys break it down for you. Patrick and Kendall are true believers, but they're too old, too fat, and too lazy to get up off their sofas and go hunt for a Sasquatch themselves. So they just sit back and watch movies about them. Now, let's head over to the Filmsquatch screening room, where Patrick and Kendall are ready to discuss their latest film.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Filmsquatch. I'm Patrick Bennett, and joining me is my co-host, Mr. Kendall, the Crazy Cajun Fontenot. Hey Kendall, how's it going?
Hey Patrick, it's going great, man. We have some special guests this evening with a short film called Sightings. Why don't you tell us a little bit about them?
Yeah, this is a college thesis film from Kyle Smith and his classmates over in North Carolina. And joining Kyle are the two only actors in this whole production, Melissa Bowen and James Primo. We can't wait for you to hear everything they had to say about the production and everything they went through. So join with us right now.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And we have three, not one, but three amazing guests tonight. We have Kyle Smith, Melissa Bowen, and James Primo. And you three are part of a short film called Sighting, correct?
Yes, thank you for double checking. It's been going back and forth between Sighting and Squatch since its inception, so Sighting is the official name for sure.
Are you aware that there's just a feature film called Squatch that just released?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Melissa, you've heard of it?
Yeah, I heard it. I saw a commercial for it.
Yeah.
Really?
And I was like, it's a good thing we did not name it that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we dodged that bullet early.
We just watched a cut of that film. He's getting ready to premiere. Well, it's already premiered somewhere in Michigan, I think. And he's showing it in a few theaters around there before it goes to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, good for them. Good to see some Squatch films out on the.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them. If you go to our website, we've got a tab that says like upcoming Bigfoot movies, and there's probably like 13 in production right now, like feature length ones. You know.
Wow,
I
didn't realize how saturated a market we were getting into with this thing. But
pretty awesome.
It's good to see. Yeah.
Well, I'll say this for you. Your film is unique.
Yeah.
I'll say that. It stands out from the pack. So
all right, we're thrilled you're joining us today to talk about this project. Now, I understand it was a college film. Is that what this originated as?
Yeah. It's for a UNCW, University of North Carolina, Wilmington, thesis class, essentially.
All right.
And usually, like, depending on the professor and whatnot, every semester, usually it'll like be a class will have like 4 different films or so with a handful of students per group, and they'll make a film. For whatever reason, this time they decided to just do the whole class one film. We essentially had like 20 plus crew members plus James and Melissa. So it grew into this huge thing. And, we just got really lucky with the people that happened to be in that class at that semester. We're all very ambitious and motivated people that wanted to just make a good film, regardless of whether it was for school or just to do something cool, and I think it worked out great.
well,
Cool. What college again did you say it was?
University of North Carolina, Wilmington.
Okay. Yeah, we just interviewed a filmmaker in South Carolina, not too far from Charlotte. He's over in Rock Hill.
Okay.
And he just completed a found footage Bigfoot movie that I think he's going to release it in theaters in November.
Oh, nice. You said that was for a class as well, or?
No, he's just a filmmaker.
Gotcha.
He made it. I think he said this is his 6th film. He's done a couple on cryptids. This is his first Bigfoot movie.
Oh, so he's a cryptid specialist then.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
His is
I mean,
called The
there's
Last Footprint.
the last footprint.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have worked for our film as well. I mean, we got a footprint in there. It's
So
pretty.
what made you decide on a Bigfoot movie for this project for the class?
Um, I'd love to try to make this story more romantic than it is. But we essentially were, for this class every semester, people from the university submit scripts. We got like 10 of them. And basically before class starts, everybody, gets an email with all the scripts and we read through them all. And then the first day of class, you come in and you kind of vote and talk about what you like, what you didn't like. Um, and so, there was some about like a haunted library. There's some about, I don't know, like there's one called Girls Night Out. There's like a party one. Um, one about like an old grandfather and his grandson connecting for the first time, just a bunch of different stuff. And then there just happened to be this one called Squatch that was a bit of an eye catcher. And so um, when we got to it, like on the first day and we were discussing everything, um, we were talking about all the scripts. And I didn't know I was going to direct it at the time. We had that first day of class and then we went and had to like create this kind of application, write up an essay about why we think we should do this job and that, and what film we want to do. But I was pushing for Squatch because it just seemed like everybody in the room, when we talked about that film, seemed like pretty excited about it. Like there was just a lot of brainstorming, a lot of ideas coming out. It seemed like a lead that could easily be followed to actually make a good film, and it had some decent direction. Like that original script um, doesn't really look much like what we made. It had all these different kind of subplots about like this reporter going around interviewing people that have seen Squatch around the town and like their thoughts about Sasquatch, and then there's like this hunter that is following the reporter and goes into the woods and ends up killing Sasquatch. And then he sees Sasquatch has like this notebook and it's like this little hint of like, oh, maybe he has some creative inclination or humanity after all. And that's kind of what we grasped onto, is that like from all of that script, this idea that Bigfoot has this kind of curiosity about humanity, in this inclination towards maybe not like a sketchbook as in that script, but a photograph or a camera as in our script. And we kind of just built it from the ground up after that. We had 3 writers, on our team. And then we also had our professor that had a bunch of ideas about it, Dave Monahan. And, it was very collaborative in trying to get that original script from where it was until what it became. And it took so many revisions, but I'm pretty happy with where we ended up.
So where was this shot at? Where the woods that you filmed it in? Is around the college somewhere?
Yeah, actually, it was all shot in the woods behind UNCW, behind UNC Wilmington, um, entirely. Yeah, I mean, because it's all outside. It was in like, I mean, a bunch of us from the crew, like we went out there for like weeks, just like plotting out different spots around the woods that would be interesting to shoot in. We, the like big long final scene when they're under the magnolia tree, and when Melissa and Sasquatch, they first like start actually interacting with one another, after Melissa gets knocked out. We found that first and it was like that we could do a lot with this space, and then we ended up doing a lot with that space. And then we also found this really cool swampy area, which was, I mean, I feel like there's so many like diverse parts of those woods that it feels like it could be a million different places, but in reality all of it was like, I don't know, 100 meters apart from one another. So that made it in some ways easier to shoot. Like we didn't have to like schedule a location halfway across town and then the next day try to go somewhere else. Like it was all in the same woods, but you gotta dragging all that equipment through there. it was an experience, but lots of fun.
Now, I want to talk about the creature.
Hmm.
First and foremost, y'all weren't afraid to show this creature at all. A lot of shorts, a lot of movies hide him in shadows, or they use darkness, and you only get glimpses of the creature. But you guys showed everything almost right away.
Yeah.
And one thing in particular with the face, were those separate appliances, or was that just one full mask? Because in one particular scene, he moved, or at least I thought I saw his jaw move when he
Hmm.
roars. Was that an application? Was that a CGI trick, or what was that exactly?
No, it was all practical. It was all
Okay.
the costume was made by our costume person, Faith Gilbert, who James worked with a bunch. Obviously, he could probably tell you more about exactly how the costume was assembled on him.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure like it was there was like a top half, and that was this part of his face, and then just so he could get some movement with the growling, and so he can moat a little more. It was detached at the jaw, I believe,
Okay.
to give him a little more flexibility. Is that right, James?
Yeah. So initially it came in as like one piece. And then they ended up splitting it. I think day one it was split into two pieces and kind of had that jaw, just so I could get some air. Without that, I couldn't move at all. So I was able to move and express a lot more. By the end, we had it into four separate pieces. So then I was really able to, once they were finished with everything, really get some expression out of it.
Hmm.
How tall are you, James?
6'7", 6'7", 265.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a very interesting costume. It's got a distinct look that you don't see in many films. I like the I don't know if you'd call it a goatee or something.
Yeah,
The
he
strand,
had a
the
bit of a
gray.
like a Qui-Gon Jinn
Yeah,
situation,
yeah,
is what it reminds me of.
that was
It makes
cool.
him look very wise, which I think made him easier to empathize with.
So, Melissa, what did you think of the costume?
I applaud James for getting on slowly. It was very epic. He came on, I was like, okay, like legit monster in the woods with me. Um, just the amount of time it took for him to get that on though, like, I mean, he is a true beast. Like being able
So,
to sit through that, and yeah, it's not a short day to get in full makeup and then go to work. So
so when you were
it was.
acting with James, were you seeing him more as a creature, or were you just like, oh, this is James? What was your mindset like?
I mean, it very much when the camera was on, absolutely, he was definitely an amateur. And there were sometimes, especially because they would get it. I'm necessarily short, so sometimes they would can get him up even higher. Even then, just that tower menace effect definitely had some extra oomph there. But James is such a smart, so when the camera's not rolling, he was really it was not menacing at all. So it's just a very sweet monster in the woods.
It's
So,
funny, we had a like so James was always getting ready in the separate location inside. Like he and the makeup team that props to them, they would go in like a few hours early every day just to get started, because it would be like an at least 6 hour process every time to just get everything on. Um, and we obviously want him as soon as possible once we start shooting. So most of the crew never even saw him when he didn't have the makeup on, which I think is funny. Like their memory of him is just this big friendly monster in the woods, who, when it's not rolling, is always joking around and making everyone laugh. And I think that's just funny for them. They don't even know who James is. They just know big friendly Sasquatch.
Mhm.
James, how uncomfortable was the costume?
Oh, comfort wise, it really wasn't terribly uncomfortable. No.
Uh-oh.
We
Uh-oh.
just lost James.
Oh,
So was it easy for him to move around in it and stuff?
Um, He was. Oh, it looks like he might be back, but he didn't have too many limitations on like his
Yeah.
body flex. Oh, he's back. You're back, James?
Hmm, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, there were like some. His suit was kind of assembled in pieces to where like there's like a detachment on his back that allowed him to bend over easier. And his feet were essentially like specialized boots. So it wasn't like he was locked into this thing, that was immovable. But now that he's back, he can perhaps tell you more about it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as far as being able to move around, it was great. It was super comfortable as far as that goes. It's like wearing a big fur bodysuit. The back flap definitely helped out a lot as far as the temperature. But yeah, once you did it on 10 minutes to sweating, I drive like 10 in 3 days, just getting out there in the woods. But
Wow.
being able to move really helped out a lot, especially without having dialogue in the movie. It's all about facial expressions and movements at that point.
Yeah.
We had a very dedicated and hardworking production assistant team, to where anytime James was like, starting to get a little hot or anything, they would come over and they had this like little fan. They would lift up his back flap and try to air him out a little bit. We had people with clipboards trying to fan him down, just doing what they could to make his time in the woods in this big, marshmallow outfit bearable.
Who handled the cinematography?
That was our DP, our director of photography, Ruby Schweitzer. Yeah,
Because
she did
there's one shot in particular of Melissa walking through the forest. It's an overhead shot, and all you see are it's gold. The leaves on the forest floor.
the
It's
drone
just
shot.
solid gold, and that was beautiful.
Hmm.
So I just wanted to point that out. That was a beautiful shot. I
Yeah,
loved it.
like right before she gets into like the little
Yeah,
hiding spot and
yeah.
everything. I'm glad you like that. And I'm glad you like how gold it was. We spent a lot of time trying to like make the color work. Because that shot, like the reason it stands out is because that's the only time you really see the ground, with how much sunlight there is in that part of the woods. Normally you're kind of seeing, more eye level, and you're seeing more greenish hues and browns. And then you see all these like, leaves on the ground that are this kind of golden color. It makes it stand out. So I'm glad you noticed that.
So how long did the production take from start to completely edited and everything? How much time you spend?
Um, I would say I would say probably late January, and I mean even now technically we're not done. I would think we're pretty damn close to being done, but we still really need to replace the credit song. Unfortunately, like $4,000, a little too rich for our blood as far as the Cash family goes and what they want for that license. But I would say the the edit that we have now, that song excluded and everything. We had that about a month ago. In it's the end of August now, so like February, March, April, May, June, July, about 6 months, all in all.
Okay.
It's been an endeavor.
So have y'all been Bigfoot movie fans before this film? Have y'all ever watched any?
I'll be honest. This was kind of my first delving into the mythology. For me personally, like I'm familiar with like Harry and the Hendersons. And a lot of people like wanted me to watch this newish Sasquatch film that came out, Sasquatch Sunset.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
That was goofy.
Yeah.
It was unique.
Hmm.
It was a unique film. Let's put it that way.
What about you,
I liked
Melissa?
it.
You ever watch a Bigfoot movie before this?
For me,
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up, I'm a Northwest baby, so I grew up with Harry and the Hendersons, and I haven't really gotten too much into this other stuff. Um, I did realize why that Squatch movie came up on my feed. I actually have a friend an actor in Indiana, and she was starring in that movie. So that's why it came up on my feed. So now I have to go watch that one.
Yeah. What about you, James? Have you watched other Bigfoot movies before this film?
No, no, not at all. I do remember Harry and the Hensons. But other than that, I may have seen some stuff here and there that had like Bigfoot in it. That wasn't like the main focus of the whole film. So for me, it was just a matter of taking what they had put together with the script and trying to imagine what it would be like, to be that beast out in the woods.
It looked like y'all had a lot of fun.
I didn't realize how many savages there were there. So
yeah, there's quite a few Bigfoot films out there. Would any of you consider doing another Bigfoot film?
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I definitely with this one, like, it was tough trying to balance because like I'm familiar, and we had like a resident, Sasquatch expert, Ashley Reep, on set, and her whole family's like really into it. So she would always be there to kind of like lend a grounded take to Bigfoot and what his like established kind of mythos is, that we tried to incorporate like with things like the knocking sounds and whatnot that was originally going to be in the script. But we just weren't sure how to, for the uninitiated, like maybe them wondering like, why is this guy knocking on the tree, for those like that don't really understand that.
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of stuck with the growling. But if I got another chance to do something that connected more deeply with like things that are established in his lore, I think that would be fun to do.
And,
What are your? Go ahead, Kendall. Go ahead.
I just want to give y'all a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
The story itself, I don't want to give away too much because I want people to watch it. But the story at one point could have taken a completely ridiculous tone, and you guys handled it well.
Mm-hmm.
It was. I was talking to Patrick earlier about it. It was lighthearted but endearing at the same time. I really appreciated, especially the Bigfoot, because it could have gone really bad, but it was perfect. Y'all executed it perfectly. I thought both Melissa and James did a great job making that transition from terrifying to what it became. I don't want to give too much away, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to give you all that compliment. That's all.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's what we were going for.
I
From the
like
beginning.
the retro feel that the movie had. You got the old one-step type camera, like the old Polaroids, and the way Melissa was
Yep.
dressed and stuff. It looked kind of had that retro feel. I really like that. So, what are your
Yeah,
plans
when
with this?
we
Are
did the
you gonna
Polaroid.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say with the Polaroid, originally, like it just like the retro feel just kind of slotted in really well, and fit the vibe. But we wanted to use the Polaroid because we needed, um, we were, initially it was like there was a sketchbook in the script, that like he would draw in, and we wanted to change that to a photograph. And it seemed like the most kind of tactile and, um, I guess analog way of doing that was with like, I think if you were watching someone take a picture with a Polaroid
Mhm.
camera, like you can kind of understand what's going on there. You know, you click a button, something flashes, and then something prints out the front, and it's the thing that you were pointing the thing at, right? That's something I could understand a Sasquatch kind of getting, as opposed with like a more modern camera. It's like just a rectangle and you click a button and you have to go through like this user interface, and like, no, 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 we're not doing all that. So we wanted to use the Polaroid because we just thought like it would be easier. It would be less of an obstacle to get, Melissa and Bigfoot to, connect. And, it just, we kind of branched the story out from there. Like we solved that problem by like, okay, we're going to use the Polaroid. If we're going to use the Polaroid, it has to be in a certain time period. And whereas for most of it, like we're all outside, it could be, 10,000 BC for all we know, aside from the camera and the outfit. But really, it went into like one of the things I am very proud of with our art team is, aside from obviously James's outfit, but Melissa's outfit was kind of a unsung champion, I think, because we spent so much time thinking about how are we going to make the Sasquatch look good that we almost forgot about Melissa's outfit. And so the last like 2 weeks, me and our art director Maria Curry and our other art person Savannah, we're trying to figure out her costume, and they're just going around all these shops, just kind of like looking at things like what kind of feels vaguely 70s, 80s, 90s. And we just found those overalls in a shop somewhere, and then we kind of built it off of that, and it added a lot of like color that kind of popped out against the background of greens and browns and gold in the forest. And I'm sorry to ramble, but
No, that's what you're on here for.
I thought it was super cool.
Going back to the Polaroid camera, all I could think of whenever I saw Melissa taking the photos, if she were using a phone and the creature found that and he takes that, so he can look at himself and the battery dies.
Oh no.
Just him going crazy because he can't see himself anymore. I don't know why, but that's where my brain went whenever, the whole interaction with the photos and stuff. I was like, yep, he would go totally insane if it was a camera.
We did try to like play into situations slightly like that, because when you take the picture with the Polaroid, it takes a second to develop, right? And so we tried to again, I don't want to like talk about like the big scene at the end too much, but there's some frustration about like, why am I looking at a gray rectangle? That it's just this constant like balancing of trust between them, and like her being like, okay, you can trust me, I'm gonna do this for you, and like I'm not gonna hurt you. And it's hard to talk about without talking about it,
right? Yeah.
But we try to play it into that a little bit.
Melissa, what was the hardest part of this whole film for you?
Hard. Really just honestly, it's just he was there for long and running on time. We have to try and start building those scenes before he got to set, and that's always fun trying to, because it is a very quiet film, so it really was all about the action and to figure out that part of it and being able to communicate without words. And so that took a little bit extra trying to build that language, because it's not, you can't use straight sign language. You have to find a new way to communicate, and doing that so both Sasquatch and the viewer can understand. I think was probably the hardest thing overall.
What about you, James? What would you say the hardest part for you was?
The hardest thing was definitely sitting in the makeup chair for 6 hours. Like I had to kind of take it to another place. I found meditation a few years ago, so for me it was, I just took my mind to another place and let the team do their work, because there were points during the whole makeup process where I have 4 different people working on me at the same time. I did a little time lapse video of it, and it's just crazy to watch it go through the whole process. So for me, that was definitely the hardest part, the sitting still. Even once you get out on set and you're out there and you're sweating and you're trying to hydrate it, none of that stuff really bothered me as much as having to sit still.
All right, Kyle, from a production standpoint, what would you say the hardest part for you was?
I'd say the hardest part for me was probably pre-production. Because like once you get on set, it's like we're here and we got what we got, and it is what it is, and we're gonna figure it out one way or the other. But before you get into it, like, and it was my first time directing anything. and it was like, big project with like 20 plus people. We raised like $6,000. And so that just felt like a big amount of responsibility. Like I have such capacity to let so many people down right now. Um, and so I think just like kind of that made me a little obsessive about like, okay, we got to perfect the shot list. We got to reach out to all these local businesses and try to coordinate things. And we got to find the perfect actors and figure out the costume. And I'm coordinating with a million people. And it was just a lot of trial by fire at that point. But like once, I got to know my crew better, and once I met James and Melissa, um, everything started kind of coming together. And I was like, this is just the right group of people. I know that as long as I work at it, it's going to come out well, and I can trust these people. And so once we were on set, as hectic as it was, it was a fantastic experience. And then, um, even in post production, is like, I know we got good footage. I know we got good takes. It's going to take forever to edit this thing, but I know there's a good movie at the end of it. So, really it's the build up, and getting past that mindset of like, can we actually do this? And that was the hard part, but I made it through. So I'm happy with it.
So where does the film go from here? Are you going to put it in festivals, or you going to make a Blu-ray out of it, or try to get on streaming services, or all of it?
I mean, I'd love Blu-ray and streaming services. That'd be fantastic, right? Our current goal right now is to just um, get a good festival run. We've submitted to one place, Cucaloris. We should hear back from them within the next few weeks. But aside from that, we're just kind of researching. Our post production went kind of late, so we missed a lot of the festivals we wanted to submit to. So we're gonna have to submit like early next year for them. Um, but we're just kind of feeling it out, and we want to kind of just test the waters with some, because at the end of the day we're still working with a pretty limited budget, but we believe in the film, so we want to put it wherever we can. So we're testing the waters with some places that aren't too expensive, like we're not submitting to Sundance or something like that, just to kind of see how people are feeling about it, and then we're going to kind of start ramping things up more and more and spread it. And I just got a new job, so I'll have more money to throw at this project if we want to submit to more festivals. So yeah, really just right now, streaming stuff like that, that can't happen until the festival run is over anyways. So I'm just trying to get it out there so that at least my crew can see their work, and so Melissa and James can see themselves in some festivals, and people can be happy with, this thing that we put all this much work into, and so that other people besides us and our families can actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well,
I can say this.
Go ahead, Kendall.
I can say this much. If my opinion, this does not look like a cheaply made production. It's very high end, very well done. Uh, Kudos to all of you. It was a very well done film.
That means a lot. I mean, you guys are the Sasquatch movie experts, so coming from you
Well, I
guys,
wouldn't
that
say
means
that. I'm just a guy who watches Bigfoot movies.
Hey, and you got a podcast and a magazine. So.
All right, Kyle, I've got a final question. Anybody wanting to make their own Bigfoot movie for the very first time, what's the biggest advice you can give them?
Oh, Bigfoot movie specifically. Don't be afraid to show your Bigfoot. People want to see Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot movie. And I mean, we got very lucky with James and with Faith and makeup team to where like we wanted to show our Sasquatch because he just looked damn good. But I feel like we tried to like dance around with like horror tropes and like try not to show the monster too soon and all that. But at the end of the day, that's like a trope, and you can play with it the way that you want. You don't have to hide your monster the whole movie, especially when you want to end up empathizing with it at some point. So do your research, bridge the gap between fiction and reality. try to at least make the monster's face look good if you want to look him in the eyes a bit. And then you can, for the rest of it, he doesn't even need to have feet. You can just play around with camera angles, But yeah, that and don't let the pressure get to you, I guess.
All right. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us. This has been really cool to talk to you about it. Great movie. All of y'all did such a fabulous job with it. And we can't wait to see what y'all do next. It's probably not going to be a Bigfoot movie, but I'm sure y'all have got other big projects lined up.
Oh, we'll see. Here, one second. My Ashley, who is also our social media person, if you guys don't mind, wanted me to get a screenshot of the Zoom meeting. So I'm just going to take a quick new. All right, everybody wave. Oh, wait, keep waving. I have to do it again. Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Right. I've got one final question for you guys, and it's for all three of you. As you know, we are a Bigfoot film reviewing podcast. And for short films, we make it a little easier. We only do 1 to 5 Bigfoot tracks, with 1 being the worst Bigfoot short ever made and 5 being the greatest Bigfoot short ever made. And I have the pleasure of asking each one of you to rate your short on a scale of 1 to 5 Bigfoot tracks. And there is no wrong answer. So let's hear it. We'll start with Melissa.
Great answer.
No pressure.
I said 5, right?
1 out of 5. So 5?
I'm sorry, James is epic. James alone, I will say 5.
All right, James.
I will say we're close to 5. I would go 4.5, only because it's a short. We got to go longer. Like we need more time.
We need
but yeah, I think overall the theme.
Okay.
So this is
Are you going, Kyle?
Is it my turn?
Yes.
I
you
would
can
say
be brutally honest. It's okay.
I can be brutally honest. Well, if there were anything to detract from it being a 5, it would be on me, because it would be a problem that I would be able to solve as the director. But I don't know. I spent a lot of time in the past few months like wrestling with post-production and just critically looking at like what can I do to make this better, whether it's with score, which there's no score in the film. We played around with that a lot. But everything we did just felt like it was detracting from what was already on screen. And I think the world just works better in this film without, some music playing over it. And I think for everything that this film is, I'd give it a 5. I think it's a 5. My frame of reference for Sasquatch shorts in particular is the Jack Link commercials. And I think we blew them out the water. So I'm giving us a 5.
All right. Patrick, would you like me to go first, or you want to go?
Yep, sure. Go ahead.
You're doing it too?
Oh, yeah, we're going to do it too.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, not the honesty.
Right. Oh, yeah, no, look. 5 out of 5. I give you guys a 5 on this for 3 reasons. For three reasons. Cinematography. The fact that you took a story that could have, like I mentioned earlier, could have gone terribly wrong, and you made it work. That impressed me the most. And in the acting, both of you did a great job. James, I'm a huge, as far as creatures go, the eyes, the person behind all that makeup or that mask or whatever it is, to me, it is harder to show emotion when you're behind all that stuff. And I'm a huge sucker for Kevin Peter Hall from Harry and the Hendersons. His work with his eyes. He said more with his eyes than the rest of the cast said the entire film. And you guys knocked it out of the park. I'm giving you guys 5 out of 5. So
I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, Patrick, you're up.
Oh man, this was a lot better. I mean, especially for a college production, this was huge. I really enjoyed it, and everything Kendall was saying, the acting, the costume, the cinematography, all of it, y'all just nailed it. Everything about it. So I mean, it's by no means a middle ground movie. This is better than a lot of shorts that we've seen featuring Bigfoot. A lot of them. And yeah, I'm gonna agree with James. I'm gonna say 4.5. I would give it a 5, but you need to watch a movie called Eagle Walk. That's the one I've rated a 5. That's kind of where I set the bar. And if you need to watch Eagle Walk, I encourage y'all all to watch it. How long is Eagle Walk? Can it do about 30 minutes?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
It's sort of like Friday the 13th, but take Jason out and put Bigfoot in. It's at a camp called Eagle Walk.
If I remember correctly, I graded that one a little tough because I'm a huge slasher fan, and because they brought the whole Jason Voorhees aspect into it, the slasher aspect, I should say. Yeah, I kind of pounded on it if I remember correctly.
But it's hard to compare your movie to that one because that one's a horror movie, you know. Yours is a lot lighter, so you almost need 2 separate categories. For the lighter Bigfoot movies, yours is a 5, no question asked, you know.
I mean, I'd say it's kind of fair, like, because we were, trying at least for the first like half or so of the movie to kind of like portray the film as if it was going to be horror. Right. I mean, obviously, then there's a twist and that it doesn't go that way. But you could rate it on like how well you think that we were able to mislead that, which we probably could have done better, but. Yeah,
I'll tell you, I like Bigfoot horror films, but probably my favorite Bigfoot movie is Harry and the Hendersons. So, and that's not a horror, you know. So,
yeah,
it's just you made a great movie. That's what I'm trying to say.
So, are you guys fans of like a Bigfoot comedy type thing then?
Personally, I like anything Bigfoot. I don't care if it's a horror film or if it's a comedy or anything. Found footage movies, I kind of have a problem with, partially because I get motion sickness when I watch them, and but also to me, it's almost like they rely too much on the fact that hey, it's on a shoddy camera, we can get away with more.
They're cheating.
Don't gotta worry about cinematography and camcorder, you know.
However, Exists is probably one of my favorite Bigfoot movies, and it was a found footage film. It was executed extremely well. Yeah, I like any kind of Bigfoot movie. I think I have a tendency to like the ones with a little heart more than Patrick does, because Patrick's just a smidge older than I am, and he's into the big action movies. And I love action movies too, but every now and then I like my action movies with a little heart.
Well, I'm glad that we could serve you at least.
I'll tell you a good feature length Bigfoot movie, Abominable. I forgot what year was that?
Like the Snowman?
No, it's a Bigfoot out in the woods.
It's like 2008, I believe.
2008. Yeah, it was pretty good. What they did was they took the movie Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window, and they rewrote it as a Bigfoot movie. So it's about a guy in a wheelchair trapped in a cabin, and he can't go down the stairs. He can't do anything, but he's seeing his neighbors in another cabin. It's like a sorority girls having a party, and he's seeing Bigfoot take him out one by one. He can't do anything about it.
Wow.
But he can try to yell at him and, try to call him on the phone, but they all think he's a pervert because he's got binoculars like on the rear window.
Bigfoot has binoculars?
No,
the neighbor does. The neighbor.
Wheelchair, yeah.
Okay.
And that particular movie does feature my favorite Bigfoot kill. He steps on someone, and it's just the way they execute the stomp. It's perfect. So,
do they like explode like when he stomps?
Well, they don't show the actual victim. You just see the foot go down, and you see blood.
Mm-hmm.
And now there are two versions.
See splatter.
Yeah, there are two versions of the film. They redid it, I think, in 2013, and they put a bunch of CGI into the creature,
Mhm.
and they didn't need it, honestly. The creature looked great. The guy who designed it's actually in the film, a guy named Christian Tinsley,
Okay.
and he won an Oscar he worked on The Passion of the Christ. He
Yeah.
designed whenever they're whipping Jesus and his
Mhm.
flesh rips off the cat and nine tails, he developed a tattoo, a temporary tattoo to do that, and he won an Oscar for that tattoo that he developed.
Oh wow. To like
Yeah.
show scarring or?
Well, it showed the ribs and the
Oh,
meat and
okay.
all
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
inside, and yeah, it's pretty grotesque, but yeah, he won an Oscar for it. It looks great. So
That's pretty nuts.
he's the biggest jerk in the movie too. I hope he does more acting
Mhm.
because he's great, at least as a jerk.
Yeah, well, I mean, you expect someone, be a little jerk for getting an Oscar for exposing someone's ribs.
But yeah, guys,
Yeah.
do you have any social media or a website, anything like that, where folks can check out your short film or information on you individually? If your career wise, I know you like James and Melissa as
Mhm.
actors. I'm sure you guys want to get out there and make a name for yourself. And Kyle, you definitely probably want to make another movie. So
I do.
you
I'm not
guys
really.
out.
I need to be more on social media than I am. But yeah, we have our, at Squatch Movie 25 is our Instagram for the movie.
Okay.
Besides that, I don't have like a special director Instagram or anything yet,
Okay.
but I should probably get on that. But I'll let our fabulous actors promote themselves now.
Okay.
Well, let's see. You go first since you're a
Okay.
superstar now after you got that
Um,
Superman gig.
Oh yeah, she was in
yeah,
Superman.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
yeah. I
Yeah, the new one.
that was me.
Okay. I can't
But
see it, but I like the
oh,
movie. Yeah.
um, the woman in the car. So
Okay. Oh,
gets saved by
okay.
somebody. Yeah. They find me. I'm Linda Owen. I think and it's scenery on my socials. So it's like mob scenery. A movie.
C- Can you repeat that again? Because I don't, at least on my
Oh,
end, I couldn't
Yeah, it
get the
was cutting out a
audio.
little.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
So it's Melissa O. Bowen. So I go by Mob Scenery, MOB.
Okay.
My video game handle used to be the Mob, so I could say "Don't mess with the Mob." And
I just put that together. I didn't understand what
yeah,
mob was, but Melissa O'Bowen. I get it now.
yeah.
All right. And James?
Yeah, jamesprimo.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Legend of Primo.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, we really appreciate having you on here. We're glad you could all join us. And speaking for myself, I really enjoyed this short. I thought it was awesome. You guys knocked it out
A
of the
lot of
park as
fun.
far as I'm concerned.
Thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure talking with you guys.
All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us,
Thank
guys. I
you.
really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right. All right. Thanks everybody for watching us on another episode of Film Squatch. If you have a movie that you've made, it could be a student film, it can be a feature length, a short film, whatever, anything to do with Bigfoot, and you want to be interviewed on Film Squatch, just find us on social media or on our website and get in touch with us, and we'll arrange to have you on here. So, but we thank you for listening, and we thank all of our fans out there from all the different countries and the cities around the United States. We appreciate you all. So, all right, Kendall, you got anything to add?
No, man, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's listening to us, and thanks to all the filmmakers and the artists that are reaching out to us. We've been getting a lot of folks talking to us lately, and we appreciate that a lot. And Patrick, the only other thing I have to say is if you're out in the forests with a beautiful golden floor of leaves and you hear a noise, what should you do?
Well, if you got that Polaroid one step up and you're getting ready to take that picture, but you see a shadow and you hear a grunt behind you, you better watch your back. Bigfoot is out there.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Filmsquatch. If you like the podcast, please leave us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us. Make sure to like us on Facebook and join in on some of our interactive discussions. Remember, Bigfoot is out there. Watch your back.